Hello students, welcome to our English class. So students, in our last class we studied about a story, a slave's riddle. So on that day we studied SGP1 and SGP2 and today we will read SGP3. So before proceeding SGP3, let us discuss the topic on that day we have studied. So there was an old slave, his name was Jim. Jim was working for his master since from a long day. His master brought him from a slave's market at the age of 11. His master's children liked Jim very much because he can make story. He was a good storyteller. He also can make riddle out of nothing. He can turn the riddles into songs and everyone appreciates that song. So, his master also liked Jim because he was faithful to his master. But Jim was very sad as he was a slave. So, on those days, a slave could be free only if his master wants to make him free. So, in today's class, we will read that SGP3 and what happens we will see whether Jim gets free or not. So, let us read SGP3. In SGP3 we will read that, but Jim's master was a kind man and he wanted to set Jim free. So one day he called Jim and said, "Jim, you have served me well. I want to set you free, but you have to make a riddle. If we fail to solve it, I will give you freedom." Jim was really very happy. Making a riddle was not difficult for him, but he had to make it both interesting and difficult. He took a little time and then came out with the following riddle. As I went out and in again, as I went out and in again, out of the dead the living came. 7 there were, but 6 there be. As I am a good slave, set me free. 7 there were, but 6 there be. Now let us read paragraph 7. Everyone enjoyed the song and the riddle, but no one was able to solve it. So his master asked Jim to explain the riddle. Jim explained, as I came out of my house, I saw my old hen with 6 chicks. It laid 7 eggs, out of which only 6 hatched. 1 got spoiled. Everyone laughed. They praised Jim for his wit, and the master set Jim free. So students, let us know some difficult words. First, hatch. H-A-T-C-H. What is the meaning of hatch? Chicks came out from eggs. Here you can see the picture. Here is a chick and it is coming out from an egg. So hatch means chicks came out from eggs. Spoil. Spoil means diminish or destroy the value. We can take an example. I wouldn't want to spoil your fun. I wouldn't want to spoil your fun. Another word, praise. What is the meaning of praise? Express warm approval. Example, teacher praised the student for scoring good mark. So you might have seen that when a student scores a good mark, always a teacher praises. So we can say, teacher praised the student for scoring good mark. So praise. Another difficult word is wit. W-I-T, wit. That means intelligence. The student was praised for his wit. So students, now let's move to the story in detail. In SGP 3 and paragraph 5. But Jim's master was a kind man and he wanted to set Jim free. Jim's master was kind man. He was not like other master, because other masters were very cruel and Jim's master was very kind and he wanted to set Jim free. As you know, Jim had no freedom. He was very sad. So Jim's master wanted to Jim free. So one day he called Jim and said, Jim, you have served me well. You have served me well. I want to set you free. You have served me well and I want to set you free. But you have to make a riddle. As you know, Jim was very popular that he could make riddle out of nothing. So he gave him a chance to make him free. If we fail to solve it, I'll give you freedom. If the master and other people will fail, then they will give Jim freedom. Jim was really very happy. Making a riddle was not difficult for him, but he had to make it both interesting and difficult. As making a riddle was not a difficult task for Jim, but the condition is he had to make the riddle difficult as well as interesting. He took a little time and then came out with the following riddle. And the riddle was, as I went out and in again, as I went out and in again, out of the dead the living came. As I went out and in again, out of the dead the living came. 7 there were, but 6 there be. 7 there were, but 6 there be. As I am a good slave, set me free. So this was the riddle. As I went out and in again, out of the dead living came. 7 there were, but 6 there be. As I am a good slave, set me free. This is a kind of riddle, and he turned this riddle into a song. 7 there were, but 6 there be. So everyone at that place enjoyed the song and the riddle, but no one was able to solve it, as the riddle was very difficult for them. So no one was able to solve it. So his master asked Jim to explain the riddle. Jim explained, as I came out of my house, I saw my old hen. Here you can see the old hen with 6 chicks. How many chicks was there? So there were 6 chicks. It laid 7 eggs, out of which only 6 hatched. 1 got spoiled. So by listening this, everyone laughed because this was so simple and no one could understand. So everyone laughed. They praised Jim. They praised Jim for his wit, and the master set Jim free. So students, now coming to the comprehension questions. The first question is, why did Jim's master want to set him free? Yes, go through this paragraph, you read it and find the answer. Can you answer it? Yes, the Jim's master was a kind man. Jim's master was a kind man, that's why he wanted to set him free. So we can write, he was a kind man. Now coming to the second question. The second question is, why did he call Jim one day? Did you read? Okay. He wanted to set Jim free, that's why he called Jim one day. Now the third question is, what condition did his master set to make him free? Do you find any answer here? Yes, read it. So, the question is, what condition did his master set to make him free? He said here, but you have to make a riddle. The condition is, the Jim has to make a riddle. Now the fourth question is, making a riddle was not difficult for him, but he had to make it both dash and dash. Here is the answer. If you read, you will get the answer. Making a riddle was not difficult for him, but he had to make it both interesting and difficult. So you can fill in the blanks. Make it both interesting So student, the next question is, do you think someone would be able to solve his riddle? As you know, the riddle was very difficult, so no one was able to solve it. No. The answer is no. Do you think someone would be able to solve his riddle? The answer is no, because that was very difficult riddle. So, did it happen so? Anyone answered that riddle? Yes? No. No one has answered the riddle. So, we can write, yes, it happens so. The seventh question is, what did Jim's master ask him? For your reference, it has given that you need to read para 7 and you will get that answer. Yes? Just go through it. Did you find the answer? Yes. So, what did Jim's master ask him? Jim's master asked him to explain the riddle. Jim's master asked Jim to explain the riddle. To explain the riddle. So now, coming to the question number 8. What was the riddle about? You just go through the text. Yes, I saw my old hen with 6 chicks. Here, the riddle was about an old hen with 6 chicks. So we can write the riddle about the old hen with 6 chicks. Next question is, was Jim set free? You look at the paragraph number 8, you will find the answer. Did you find? Okay. Everyone loved, they praised Jim for his wit and the master set Jim free. So we concluded that Jim got free. Was Jim set free? So we can write yes, because his master set Jim free. So students, now there is another question for you. You just read the question. The question is, Jim is narrating to one of his friends how he got freedom from being a slave to one of his friends. There are some gaps there. Here you can see the gaps and fill in the gaps to complete it. Let us solve it. Okay. The first sentence is, I was an old dash. The Jim was an old slave. So he was telling that I was an old slave. I worked under a dash for a long time. He was working under a master. So we can write, when I worked under a master for a long time. I was days when I was a small days. Can you guess the answer? Yes, you are right. I was bought. I was but when I was a small boy. Everyone loved me because I was good at, he was good at two things, singing and making riddle. So, I was good at singing and making riddle. I was not happy because I wanted to be dash. I was not happy because I wanted to be free. Because Jim was a slave and he wanted to be free. For this, my master laid a condition: if I made a riddle which they could not solve, then only I would get my dash. So, can you fill this blank? Yes? Yes. The answer is, then only I would get my freedom. I made an interesting and dash riddle. So, Jim made an interesting and difficult riddle. So, we can write, I made an interesting and difficult riddle. Nobody was able to dash it. Nobody was able to answer it. Yes. I was set dash. I was set free. Yes, correct. I was set free. I felt like a free bird. Okay. So students, what we have learned today? Today we read SGB 3 and comprehended it. So this is all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.